Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video it is my pits and peaks of the week. So if you are not familiar with these videos, I recap my week as a whole and I talk about things that didn't go so well, being my pits for the week, and what did go better this week, being my peaks for the week. So we will get straight into the pits first so that we can end on a high with the peaks. So I will start with my first one. So my first pit for this week has been that at the beginning of the week I was not tracking certain foods in my diary for the pure fact that I didn't want to be over my calories and I didn't want to have to sort of say that I'd had an off day on my video, and that was completely stupid on my part. I don't know where that sort of came from. I was talking to Maria about it and I sort of changed everything in my diary to reflect what I'd actually eaten, and I think I was just in a weird headspace, and it doesn't affect anyone other than me as to whether I track what I ate or not, and it's only a detriment to me if I don't track it. So yeah, I corrected all the entries in my diary at the beginning of the week and haven't done that since. It was just like I must have just been in a weird headspace those first couple of days. So that was my first pit that has been corrected. My second pit for this week, I've forgotten already and I literally just looked at it, has been snoozing my alarms this week. So for the majority of this week I have been snoozing alarms and not getting up when I've wanted to get up. My plan for last week had AM and lunchtime exercises to do, and the fact that I wasn't getting up in the morning as I expected to was sort of pushing all of the workouts out a little bit. I will talk about those in a bit when I get onto my peaks, because I don't think I've done horrendously bad on those, so I'm going to class them as a peak and I'll talk about them in a bit. But yeah, I could have done better this week had I not snoozed alarm and sort of got things out of whack a bit, so that is not helping. I think that the fact that we're sort of changing season, we're going into autumn and things are a lot darker and a lot colder. Like in the morning, if I usually wake up at like 6:30, it's actually dark now. The clocks are changing soon as well at the end of October, so it's going to be even darker later into the morning and in the evening as well. So I think there's some sort of like seasonal motivation issue going on here, and I just sort of need to snap out of it and get up when my alarm goes off rather than sort of snoozing my alarm and not doing any exercise. So that is being classed as a pit this week. And then my last pit for the week is that I've had some really bad body image days this week. There have been days where I've got up in the morning and I've looked in the mirror and I just felt really bad about myself and felt really negative, despite the progress that I've made over the last couple of months. Not just mentally but obviously physically as well, that other people can see. I think it's because it's tough on me that I can't see those changes as much as everyone else. I think other people notice changes more than you do your own body, because you see yourself every day, so you don't notice those small changes that are going on. So yeah, I've just had some really weird body image days this week. I've obviously had my period this week as well, which came a little early. Just because things are out of whack. My implant has run out, so I'm still waiting for an appointment for that, and it's just meant that my periods are just a bit all over the place since it ran out. So I've had to deal with that this week. So yeah, I think the bloating and things for my period hasn't helped, but yeah, just some really negative body image days that have been getting me down a bit, so that hasn't been great this week. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else major that I need to touch on. I've had a couple of off days, which I will mention when I do my 7-day NutriCheck view. I have tracked all week, and as I said, I have corrected the days where I just had like a weird thing going on with not wanting to track foods when I was over. That's all been corrected, so the 7-day NutriCheck view that I will show later on will show exactly what I've sort of consumed this week. So other than that, that is my pits done. So we will move on to peaks next. I've got a few peaks to talk about this week. The first is sort of leading on from a pit that I talked about, and that is realising that I was having really bad habits with regards to not tracking foods because I don't want to be over. The fact that I've rectified that and sorted it out and addressed the problem, I'm classing that as a peak. And the fact that I can sort of recognise bad behaviours and things like that and snap out of them relatively quickly rather than go weeks and months down the line with still having those bad habits. So I'm classing that as a peak. My next one is one that I forgot to mention last week, but is one that I've continued this week, and it is that I have started to eat when I'm hungry rather than eating on a schedule. So previously in the morning I would get up and sort of get ready to start work, whether that be at home or in the office, and as soon as I sort of sat down and ready to start work, I would then have my breakfast at like 8:30. Oftentimes I wasn't really that hungry at the time that I was eating my breakfast. I was just eating to a schedule. So things like lunches were at like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and dinners was at 6. The only one that I've kept on schedule is my dinners in the evening. Other than that, breakfast and lunch I sort of push out until I'm actually hungry rather than just eating when it comes time to eat. I think that's a bad habit that I've carried on for quite a long time, and it's been more beneficial to eat when I'm hungry, because sometimes I won't eat until like 10:30, 11 o'clock, which means that I also don't need a snack, because my snack would then come into some sort of schedule as well, where I'd have a snack around 10:30, and I'm missing out some of those snacks now. So yeah, eating when I'm hungry rather than being on a schedule is working out so much better. So that is another peak for this week. My next peak, and I was having a laugh with Maria over this, I went to the supermarket on, I think it was Tuesday, and I was really craving a cheese twist from Tesco's. If you don't know what a cheese twist is, I will leave it here. They don't do single cheese twists, obviously, because of everything that's going on with COVID. They've had to like wrap everything up, and it used to be that when you got cheese twists you could literally just use the tongs to pick an individual one out of the basket. However, they've now wrapped them in twos, so you can't buy single cheese twists, which is quite annoying. And I'd bought a 2-pack of cheese twists. I had one for my lunch, and the other one was just completely taunting me, sat in the bag, even though I'd put it away and it was like out of sight, out of mind. It wasn't actually out of mind, and I just couldn't think about anything other than sort of eating that other cheese twist. So the fact that I had a bit of self-restraint not to have that cheese twist was was quite a feat in my opinion. I then brought that cheese twist home. I was going to have it the next day for lunch, and Philip ended up finding it in the cupboard when I'd hidden it, so I didn't actually get to enjoy the second cheese twist. So yeah, I'm classing that as like a funny, quirky little peak for this week, that I didn't eat the second cheese twist twin. So that is that. For my next peak, I have done 2 gym sessions and 2 runs this week. I did one run earlier in the week, and then my other run was Friday, either Thursday or Friday. And I did a 5k on the treadmill on the second run that I did. I think I did the first run as a treadmill run as well, so I haven't actually run outside this week because I've left my runs until the evening, because obviously, like I said, I haven't been getting up for my alarm, so I haven't been running in the morning. So both of my runs have been on the treadmill this week. I'm just muting my phone. So I think my first run at the beginning of the week was a bit of a shorter run, and then I did a 5k on the next run, which is good for me. I was starting to sort of worry whether I could actually get a 5k on the treadmill again, because the last couple of runs that I've had have been really bad, or at least in my opinion they've been quite bad. I know they've been runs, so that is a positive in itself that I'm actually doing the runs, but the fact that I wasn't getting that 5k distance was really bugging me, so I was quite happy to get that 5k again. Shame that I didn't get outside for a run this week, but I'm going to do that tomorrow to see whether I can try and aim for a 5k or close to, so we will see how that goes and I'll update you next week. And then I've done 2 gym sessions this week, so I've done a full body workout and an upper body workout. Both of them were really good. I sort of stripped back to basics with the gym guide. I'm not going as heavy with any weights to sort of push myself too much. I'm really focusing on form. I'm quite conscious of the issues that have been going on with my neck and my shoulder at the moment, so I really want to make sure that like anything that uses my upper body is with really good form. So irregardless of weight, I'm not going for any sort of weight PBs or anything like that at the moment. I just want to focus on form, make sure I'm doing everything correctly, so that if there is any sort of underlying issue there, I won't sort of be aggravating it. And so far so good, I haven't had any issues with it, so fingers crossed that that continues. So yeah, I'm really happy with the 2 runs and the 2 gym sessions this week. I did say that I hoped for 3 of each, but that I would be happy with 2, so I've achieved my goal this week. I will try and get 3 to 3 next week, so we will see how that goes, especially given that I'm going to stop snoozing my alarm. I'll go through a couple of goals that I have in mind for next week to sort of achieve those, but that's that. And then my last peak, if you will, is an NSV, and that, if you're not familiar with the term NSV, it is a non-scale victory, and it is that I have been able to put my engagement ring back on. I don't know how long it's been that I haven't been wearing it, and I felt really guilty for not wearing it as well, but basically I'd obviously gained weight over the last year, I guess, and it got to a point where it was really uncomfortable for me to wear my engagement ring, and it was really digging into my finger, and it's now at the point where I can sort of, you know, twist it on and off and it not be like squeezing the hell out of my finger. So that is good, and I'm glad to be able to sort of wear it again. So it is slightly still a bit tight, but the fact that I can get it on and it's not bothering me that much is an NSV for me. So obviously as things go on, and hopefully as I am losing weight, that will get a bit looser even more. So yeah, I'm just happy that I'm at the stage where I can actually wear my ring again, so that is that. Other than that, I don't think I have any more peaks to talk about. We will briefly talk about my 7-day NutriCheck view, as I said, so I've tracked all days this week. So we'll put a screenshot here with my 7-day NutriCheck view. I'm just going to bring it up so that I know exactly what I'm talking about. So as you will see, I've had 2 off days this week, Monday and Saturday. I'm not classing Wednesday as being an off day because, as I said, I don't class an off day as being anything sort of under 100 calories over. That's just sort of a little buffer. Even though it's got an X there, and that does really bug the hell out of me, I'm not really classing that as an off day. The other 2 off days were considerably over my calories though, so I'm not too happy about that. But every other day has been fine, so yeah. Pleased that I'm still tracking, not really feeling like it's monotonous or anything like that, which is obviously a worry when you calorie count, that things just become repetitive and things like that. I'm not really finding that. It's just become sort of second nature to plan out my food and serve it up and things like that and scan as I'm going along, so not really too bothered about that. If I look at my 7-day NutriCheck view with exercise calories, then the only day I was over was one day, which was Saturday. Any other day has been covered by exercise that I've done, so either a run or a gym session, so I'm not too bothered about that. Obviously, I have mentioned in the past that I don't want to have to rely on exercise calories for making me have a tick. So with that in mind, I've set some goals for next week. So my weekly schedule in terms of exercise is going to stay exactly the same. I think the way that I've got that planned out works for the days I'm in the office and not in the office and things like that, and things that I've got going on. And it is literally just about fine-tuning other bits in order to get that 3 for 3 on each of those exercise days. So I'm going to keep my weekly exercise schedule the same. I'll plop it up here so you can see it. But things that are going to help me to achieve my weekly schedule this week is mainly going to be that I will not snooze my alarms. So I get up early on the days that I go into work, but it's usually about half an hour before I need to go into work, quickly have a shower and whatever else, 45 minutes to half an hour before I need to leave. On the days that I'm not in the office, I sort of start around 8 o'clock in the morning, so I literally just have to sort of roll out of bed and go into the office, and I want to stop snoozing my alarms and get up roughly the same time that I would if I was going into the office, just so that I have that time in the morning to get in exercise and things like that, get in walking, and it'll also help if at some point work wants me to go in more days a week. It'll get me used to getting up at the same time every day of the week. Obviously Saturday and Sunday is a bit different, and I get up later on those days just because I have the whole day. But yeah, definitely during the week, like working day week, Monday to Friday, I'd like to ideally get up at 6, if not a smidge earlier than 6, just so I can get things out of the way early in the morning and not have to worry about trying to fit things in the evening. If I try and do exercise and things in the evening, it very, very rarely happens. I just don't have the motivation, and I feel quite sluggish in the evening, especially when I've had food and things like that throughout the day. I just feel like it makes me feel tired and heavy for any sort of exercise that I do, so I'd rather get it out of the way during the day. So mornings and lunch times for runs and workouts is definitely the best for me. And I proved last week, or this week rather, that I can get up at 5 AM in the morning and do a run, because I did that on the treadmill this week. So yeah, it's just about not being as lazy and just sort of pushing through the tiredness in the mornings, and eventually it'll just become a habit of getting up at that time. I don't think it's doing me any favours sort of switching up the time that I get up in the morning, so yeah, I'm going to stick to a routine of getting up about 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning every morning, Monday to Friday, and that should at least cover most of my runs and at least 3 of my gym sessions that I do, because obviously my gym sessions are scheduled Monday, Wednesday and Friday, so they are the best days for me to sort of work out at lunchtime and things like that. So yeah, that is going to be how I'm going to achieve those. Other goals that I want to set for this week is to be on track all week. Don't want any off days this week. I want a final push before the end of the month, before I do my check-in and things like that. So I sort of want to rein everything back, get in my 3 gym sessions, 3 runs this week, and have all 7 days on track with my calories to sort of, yeah, just give it that extra little something for the end of the month. So that's what I'm going to work on this week. Hopefully I have a good week and everything goes to plan, as it should if I do everything that I've spoken about. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here because this video has been quite long with all the things that I've talked about. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. You can always click the notification bell down below and you will be notified of when my videos go live. Other than that, I hope you're all staying safe and well. I hope you all have a good weekend, whenever it is that you're watching this, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye.